people want to be liberated, I'm totally for that. Rudy, all right, we got your camera fixed. You're back. You're better. How are we doing tonight, my man?
I'm doing great. To be honest, I was a little bit sleepy. I've been tired like the entire day. I don't know why.
I'm not gonna lie, I
I,
had a nap. I got home from work a little early today, and I laid down and I crashed out. Like I literally crashed out.
to be honest, like I think the whole uh, political, environment in Venezuela and everything that is happening in the world right now, it had me tired.
Uh-huh.
So that's probably why, like I don't know if it happened to you, that you are too, involved in everything.
You and I are both in similar situations because we're the truth tellers, right? I just hit puberty. Did you hear that? So we're truth tellers, and I've always been a black sheep because I'm allergic to seeing something happen and then not just talk about it. I'm like, I have an allergy to it. If I see that there's some BS out there, I'm gonna say it. And I might, there's always a possibility I could be
Yes,
wrong
sir.
about something, but I'm gonna assert what I believe to be the truth on a subject. And I just realized I'm wearing the wrong glasses. Holy cow. Here we go. Now I can see. Well, there we go. Oh, this is part of getting old. You end up having to have multiple glasses all over the place. So yeah, you and I are both in a similar position because I've been telling the Canadians exactly how things have been going down in the country of Canada and how Canada has not been the best player in a lot of these things. You're in a similar
Yeah.
situation because there's a giant movement happening out of Venezuela, and you've been telling a bit of the truth about some of the political players, and you've been catching a lot of grief about it.
I've been trying to do my best to wake up the people of Venezuela, my people, like my hometown, and everyone there. And it's so difficult when you had like more than 20 years of these kind of regimes, and people following everything and believing everything that they say, for so long that it gets too difficult to kind of like make people realize that they have been living a lie, not only for these last 20 years, but I would say historically in Venezuela for the last 100 years. To be honest, it's this is more deep than it looks like. It's not easy. And I would say that everything is related in the world right now. Like Iran, everything that is happening there is related with Venezuela. Is related with, of course, the United States and so many countries in the world. In Latin America, they have a huge influence in different countries. So yeah. So I think President Trump is doing. I don't know where President Trump gets his energy to do everything that he's doing. Right. I was remembering these days to my audience from in my channel this newspaper that I got in Miami. This one here. Look at this. This is in Spanish. I know it looks backwards here, but it says the plan in three phases. For Venezuela
Okay.
from Marco Rubio, right? So I've been trying to talk a lot about this, because honestly I believe President Trump and his administration, everything that they're doing, is it has a purpose in not only for Venezuela but also for the entire world, and of course mainly for the United States. I've been trying to follow and track everything that people is saying, the ones that are against Trump and the ones that are in favor. And I think everyone has a valid point, till uh, till one point, but on the other side, how do you explain everything that is happening without getting dragged, in violence, in like political violence, that we live in these days. So yeah, you get tired, you get tired debating and talking with people, and people attacking you, you're just trying to, you're just trying to say what you believe is true, So yeah, I bet that happened to you very often.
Yeah, well, I lean on the memes, I guess. I lean on the making fun of things and satire. That's sort of my just way of coping with it. Hence the 51st flag. I'll lean into it. If people get upset by something I say, I'll just lean more into it because it means I'm striking a chord. I mean, I even made this shirt. This is available on the store. You can check these out.
I'll grab that.
Donald Trump. He say, I grabbed
You're
that.
being very creative these days. Where's the hat, man? You're missing the hat.
Oh,
well.
yeah. I had the Canada's Up for Grabs hat.
Yeah,
all available on the store, by the way, if you have the balls to wear it out in public. I'd love to see pictures of that. Share it on the communities tab on YouTube. That's hilarious to see people actually doing it. Because there's a lot of people that share our opinions on these things, right? They want to see the truth. They want to learn more about what's actually happening. I tend to lean more into the humor aspect of it. I guess it's a cope or whatever, because holy crap, it'll drag you down. It really got crazy here in Canada when it came to the election, when everybody, like so many people that were leaning to the right or following along the lines of like, wow, Donald Trump's doing a great thing, all suddenly developed Trump derangement syndrome. And like it went nuts during the election because both political parties went anti-American. It's just something that happened because there happens to be like a long-seated history in Canada, as it turns out, of anti-American sentiment, which I attribute more to Eastern Canada. When you get out into Western Canada, Trump derangement syndrome that you see there is a little different. It's not seated in history. It's more seated in just leftist retards, in my estimate. But the anti-American sentiment goes back to like 1812 and all this other stuff. People having some sort of idea, like identifier. They had, the only thing that really identifies them as Canadian is that they're not American. Like it's the dumbest thing ever. Especially for people in the West. I mean, they only became Canadian because they incidentally drew a line, like Donald Trump says. The imaginary line came in, and people who were, all of their relatives are in the United States, and they're just, farmers, ranchers, that kind of thing, suddenly became Canadian and had to identify as that. And that's never really been an identifier up until that point. So, it really went nuts. So crazy that even Canadian comedian Mike Myers came up and he decided to be part of the campaign with his elbows up and all that stuff. The
elbows up thing. Yeah.
It was ridiculous. And people lost their minds. People lost their minds entirely. And I mean, you got to see it. I'm sure, like, what was your take from it? Because you're a new Canadian. Like, you're now a citizen of Canada, and you watch all this stuff happen that it just out of the blue. What's your take on it?
I mean, kind of like strange for me, at least. Yeah, as you say, new Canadian voting, and I was expecting, first of all, the elections. I'm not used to the way that, Canada does the elections. I think Venezuelans would do it a little bit different, with a little bit more enthusiasm, like a little bit more, festive and
a little more caravana.
And I don't know. It's just it hits differently in Venezuela, to be honest. And of course, when you are living under, a regime for more than 20 years, every time that you went to, the polls, you were going, with the hope that finally that day everything will change, and we'll get there, because there has so many things to say. The other day we were talking about this in your Discord server. We
Yeah.
were talking about, about the.
By the way, link to the Discord. One of the mods will put that in the chat. So go check that out if you want to come chat with us afterwards. Go continue.
Yeah, no. It was a lot of fun, talking about, Venezuela, Canada, the comparison that I have so far, my experience from Venezuela and now in Canada. And I kind of like compare, a few things here and there on what is happening in Venezuela. Unfortunately, like I wasn't expecting to move to a country also where we have, a opposition. From my point of view, right? This is my perspective. This is my point of view, my personal opinion. I feel that during the elections, the oppositions was, weak. I believe Pierre Poilievre, he went very weak comparing with the guy that you remember, the Apple Pierre, right? That's how you call it. Apple. Yeah, it was different. So I was expecting a more aggressive, guy. And I understand we were living those days, Canada first, the war against.
We're living in the era
of
we're living in an era of such great personalities in politics, though. I mean, you look at what happened in America, Donald Trump from the right. You see his character, unapologetic, just out there. America's number one. Who cares about everybody else? Like, get on board with what we're doing. And then you see Argentina with Javier Milei. What's his catchphrase? It's Viva la libertad, carajo.
Viva carajo, yeah. Viva la libertad, carajo.
Yeah. Damn it. And it's awesome. So to see that,
he was being more aggressive. He was very aggressive in the political spectrum against his enemies. Yeah. It's like the famous video that he has taking off tax, like the Ministry of Education out, the ministry, from the rainbow, whatever, LGBTABC out, all of that. Yeah. So that's how you had to do it. That's how it should be. That's the way that Trump also won. And
then even Pierre Poilievre guy, he seemed aggressive at first, and then he comes in, and then he turns into PR Poilievre. That was the nickname I gave him. So, like public relations Poilievre, right? Right?
Yeah.
So he turns into PR Poilievre. They take his glasses away. They give him a Zelensky shirt. He starts working out, and like, what are you doing? Like, that. Did that really work? Is that really gonna work? No, I don't think it worked. And like, not only was he not aggressive, he refused to go on podcasts. There was a top-down message from the party to all the other MP candidates: don't go on interviews, don't talk to the media, don't even show up to debates. Like, and I criticize this, and people would come back to me and they say, yeah, but nobody's voting for those guys. They're voting for Pierre Poilievre. It's like, man, how the hell do you think Pierre is going to win? The Conservatives are going to win if this is the electoral process. The MPs have to go to their damn debates. We don't have an executive branch that you vote for in Canada. You have to vote for the office of each MP. Your local guy is the ticket. And people it's unreal. Like, they just didn't get this. I know the political system in Canada is broken, and I think it was designed by the kingdom to make sure that countries don't become independent like the United States did. And that's why the US turned into a republic. And they went with that idea, a constitutional republic. The Westminster system is pretty flawed in that way, but they didn't even try to navigate it to win. And that was the most frustrating thing in my estimate. It just didn't feel like they wanted to win.
No, I completely agree with you. And I believe that because it's the same thing that happened in Venezuela, in the year 1811, when they found the country, like the republic and the constitution for first time. The constitution was inspired in the United States Constitution in that moment. So, and now when you compare the constitution that we have now with the one that we used to have in that moment, from that moment, right? It changed a lot. It's completely different now. I don't believe, and just to give a little bit of context to the people that is listening, from what I was saying before. What I mean is that in Venezuela, I believe, and I'm not afraid anymore to say this, that we were wasting our time voting every single year since Chavez took power, and then Maduro came,
Every year they had an election every year? What?
Yeah, like almost every year we had elections, and they used to say that, very proudly. Oh yeah, no, we are a very democratic country because we have elections every year. So
It doesn't matter that they were rigged.
yeah, they were all rigged. Funny, yeah. So
we're the most democratic because we do it the most often. Like, that's stupid.
Yeah, you can vote, almost every day. This is a happy country. So. Yeah, so when the international community and people in other countries, hear this kind of stuff, they believe, Venezuela is a very democratic country. And of course, I was also, sleeping during the time, because I didn't know, I never noticed this problem. I was very young, and we, the opposition, man, the opposition party, all these political parties that, they unite in one single party to, defeat the dictatorship, to defeat Chavez and Maduro, and all these people, they work together. They all work together. They all work with Maduro. They are in different, they have companies, probably this, and this is an example. Maybe, I don't know, Maduro has a daughter and she is married with one of the guys from the opposition. It's like a McCartney's daughter is married with Pierre Polier's son, something like that, right? And nobody knows that. Nobody knows that. It's like a secret, So
do you get attacked when you point stuff out like that? Is that one of the points that they're?
Yeah. So okay. So as soon as I start talking about these issues, as soon as I start investigating about this, the opposition, all the parties in that single, unified party that is made out of, lies, they start attacking you. They start saying that you belong to the regime, that the regime is paying you. It's like it's like similar to when somebody says that Russia is paying you, something like that. Oh no, you get paid by Russia.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's the same thing.
You're just Russian, or you're just bought and paid for. I mean, it's always somebody that's buying the person who dissents, right? It doesn't matter what it is. They'll find something to throw at you. If it's a socialist, they'll be like, oh, you're just bought and paid for by big oil or corporations or something like that. It's not a real attack, though. Like, why don't they attack the substance of what you're talking about? And like, actually, like,
argument,
that would be the best.
Exactly. No, they just made up, things like you are, that you work for the government, you are infiltrated in the opposition. There is a guy that also created a word for that. Instead of saying opposition, he says opposition. Like everything is a movie in Venezuela. You believe the position is real. It is not. It's controlled by the government. In Venezuela, every single party, every single person, it is better for them. It is better for them to work as the opposition, opposition in Venezuela, because that way they don't have the responsibility to fix everything, to fix the country, to fix the huge mess, that they've been doing for years and years, and they're still getting paid. They're still getting paid. So these people are parasites. I don't believe in them. I believe that we need to create a new opposition. I believe in that this new opposition, it will be born outside Venezuela. And it's there's a lot of people, that is waking up, outside Venezuela about this. And this is another lie. In Venezuela, we never had a right-wing political party. That's another thing. So yeah,
Okay, so there's so many mirrors to Canada right now. It's hilarious because, well, for one, the talks of starting another party to bring that about, that happened. Some people got together, made the People's Party of Canada. That was taken over by another Laurentian elite, Max Bernier, who just uses it as a piggy bank now. I mean, it's not an opposition party. It's not even a like it's a joke. It's become a joke at this point. The People's Party. So the idea of trying to bring up a new party, but then on the same vein, look at what's happening in the United States. How did the Republicans become so successful? It's because they took over the party. People took over the Republican Party. It was full of rhinos. It was full of neocons. And the MAGA movement has successfully taken over. And you can see that in what's happening right now in the United States, especially in Texas. If you see, like, the radical left is actually coming about in Texas on the Democrat side, and that's kind of scary. But the silver lining is, look at how many people got kicked out. The rhinos, they got kicked out just in the primaries alone. And this is why I advocate for primaries in every election. Why have your Milei made that mandatory in Argentina? And I think that's like one of the most amazing things he was able to bring to the electoral system in Argentina, is fixing it that every party has to have a primary by mandate before they have the election. That's amazing. So in Texas, for people who don't know, a number of rhinos got booted. In fact, Dan Crenshaw, the guy whose nickname is Eye Patch McCain, because he's like this war hawk guy who used to be a Team 6 Navy SEAL guy. He comes in, everybody was hopeful with him. He seemed like new blood, but it turns out he was just another guy for Raytheon, whatever contracts. And then that sucked. So what did they do? They brought in a MAGA guy. They ran against him, and he's no longer the Republican on the ticket. There's another guy in. Look at I think it's the Texas 23rd. They had Tony Gonzalez, who is a total rhino. He gets in. He's supposed to represent Texans in one of the reddest districts in Texas, and he comes in and he's introducing legislation for gun control. Like, this is the kind of crap that's happening in politics. So what do? They come in. Brandon Herrera, a YouTuber, is just primaried the guy. He's gone. So the guy who's known as the AK guy, Brandon Herrera, is now the Republican running, and he's likely gonna win. Like, the contest isn't who wins the election, it's who wins the primary, because there's always gonna be a Republican in that district. So it's crazy the direction that it's been going. But like, what's the answer in a situation like Canada? What's the answer in a situation like Venezuela? I was so surprised to learn, you were the one who told me, that the person that everybody's championing, Maria Corina Machado, as this bastion of fixing the whole situation in Venezuela, though she was successful in her attempts to get the attention on the Venezuelan situation and the elections, before all of this, she was in the government, and she was the big prominent voice for gun control, and the reason why the Chavez government was able to even take the guns away from Venezuelans, so that they couldn't even defend themselves when the Chavista government was put in place. Like, that's crappy to learn that. If that's your history, why would you be putting that person in charge after all this time? Is there like a redemption arc for people like that?
Yeah, she was a congresswoman by the time. She did that. Like, she was working in Congress during those years, and she both. I mean, she was the one who support this law, and then she were pushing, on all media, all the mainstream media in Venezuela, about this law, trying to deliver to the people of Venezuela the reasons why that was something good to do. And yeah, I mean, we were living under, a lot of violence on the streets, many people with guns and that kind of stuff. I understand that. But at the same time, you took the only power that probably we probably had in that time, during those times, to kind of like get rid of Chavez during those times. Um,
Mhm.
yeah. So, in another thing is that she confused you a lot, because at times it looks like she is against, like, during, like, many years ago, like, she's against the government, and also she's against the opposition. Like, she's against those, like the same mentality that I have right now. She used to have it, at least for for a couple years. She used to say that the only way to get rid of the dictatorship was to get rid first of the fake opposition. She used to
She used to
recognize
say
that.
that.
Yeah, she used to say that. There's
Oh
plenty
wow.
of videos. Yeah, I have videos of her saying that, that be like, literally, before getting rid of the Chavismo, we need to get rid of the fake opposition, with those words. Exactly,
Wow.
and that was like, like 2019, 2020, those years. Okay, a little bit late, to be honest, also, but at least she was the only one from a lot of people, that works with the government. They're the same, the fake opposition in the government. They're the same. This is the
Mhm.
same party. Um, that she was the only one, and I used to love her, during those times, and because she was very radical. She used to also talk about that the solution for Venezuela was, was the force, using the force. She used to talk about those things, and then suddenly, I don't know why, she changed. Everything changed, and after saying that, there was a fake opposition, after that, 2 years after, she started working with the fake opposition, and
Mm.
I don't know, man.
When you say the force, I immediately, I don't know
Oh,
why.
sorry. Yeah.
I'm like, what? She got
by
metachlorians
the force. No, yeah. So what I mean is, getting help from other countries, to unify a military, group, something like that.
Oh, like a
Um,
coup, like actually stage a coup. That's the only way to get rid of the government. Oh
yeah,
man,
I mean, I
South
guess,
America is like such a different world for me. Like you hear
yeah.
about coups all the time, all the damn time.
You're right. Yeah, that's true. It happens. It happens in different countries. Yeah, we have a history. Yeah, and that's another thing. That's another thing. Really quick. 1958. We used to have a dictatorship. And for me, this was the best president that we have. And this is very sad. I had to say this, right? That the best president that Venezuela had ever. It was a dictator. His name was Marcos Perez Jimenez. He was a military, but he did, like, most of the good things that we have in Venezuela. All the technology that we gained, during those years, it was thanks to him. Also, he took the country to be the best country in the region. We were competing against different countries in Europe, and also the States. The
So
best
what were the
country in
things
Latin
that
America.
made that well? Like, was he adopting more free market principles, or was there a different
Yes,
strategy there?
he was the only president. I would say the only president that we had that was really a nationalist and also a conservative. And besides that, he believed, in the free market, and we were getting a lot of investment in Venezuela. But he was taking care, of the country, and the oil industry, everything. It was that top of the line. We should have one of the best economies on the region.
Well, you're so
Oh,
rich in resources. I mean, Venezuela is just it has so much. Like
yeah,
it's rare earth metals, it's oil, and oil is a huge one, and it's very similar to like Canadian oil, but it's abundant, like
yeah.
really abundant. That's crazy.
Yeah, but it is, you can have all of that, right? You can have everything. It's like Canada. Canada also have a lot of oil. Are we doing something with that right now? Are we, exploding and taking Canada to the next level? With everything that we have, I don't think so. I think we can do better. But it is so easy, to break to take freedoms and to break every single piece of democracy that you might have, and you might believe that you still have it, but probably not, because after that year, 1958, when the same guys that we have right now in power and with the government, right, the fake opposition, the same guy, the same parties, they did a coup against this dictator. They forced him to leave the country. They took the country, and then they did what? They did an agreement. They have a brilliant idea. They say, okay, so in order to keep democracy, in place in Venezuela, what about if we make an agreement? Okay, we made an agreement. All the political parties, we're gonna sign a document where we're gonna agree that we're gonna keep democracy following these rules. So what happened with that? What was the problem? The problem was that they killed democracy, because when you kill the opposition, when you kill the possibility for other parties to be your opponents, to guarantee, that you're gonna do your work, correctly. When you kill that, so I mean, you kill democracy. You don't have competition.
What were their excuses for doing that, though? Because I know there are some excuses, like what is it? Ukraine right now, they've basically canceled democracy because wartime. So they say, well, it's a war. So we can't have opposition news. We can't have opposition parties. They banned the opposition parties. They banned everybody. But then, you look at the United States historically, they were having elections during the Civil War. Like, they never got rid of democratically elected representatives, even in conflict. It didn't matter. So like my thought on these excuses that people have is like, go screw yourself. You just want to cancel democracy. You use whatever excuse you can in the books. We have a historical, precedent that you don't need to. So what was their excuse?
I mean, their excuse for the people, for the public and the international community was, a compromise to exactly that, like keep democracy in place, and to, kind of like assemble a new republic. They even changed the constitution in 1961, in order to, keep in place democracy and do not go back again to a dictatorship, as we suffer so many times in Venezuela. And so from one part of that, but internally, it was because of corruption. They were stealing everything that they were able to get during those times, until and then people were getting tired. The people start feeling that they wasn't getting enough from the government. And that's when Chavez came, as a savior. And the worst thing about this, and I'm very ashamed to say this, look, Venezuela is a country in diapers, okay? Venezuela is a baby. Unfortunately, these people, these political parties in the opposition right now, they interrupt the development of Venezuela with the other guy, in 1958, the dictator, because he was a dictator, yes, but he was doing a great job. I mean, the country was one of the best countries in the world, and it was developing very well, so they interrupt the growing of Venezuela. They start stealing, and then Chavez came, because he tried not only one time, but two times, to overthrow the government, in the 90s, in the beginning of the 90s, 1992. And then people decide that he was the savior, for Venezuela. Oh my God, this guy, he's just a good guy. He just wanna get rid of the people to finish the corruption and to get rid of these people that is stealing our money. So what happened then? I don't know how or who authorized this or who paid for this. I mean, we believe it was Cuba, but you never know. But Chavez got released from jail. He was in jail because the coup. He didn't succeed during the coup.
Yeah, he's in jail for sedition.
He was in jail,
Yeah.
and then one president decided to release him without any charges. Not only him, but also all his friends, all the militaries that killed a lot of people in Venezuela during those times. They even dropped bombs, in the capital of Venezuela, in Caracas. They dropped bombs against the people. So at least in the United States, they drop bombs only in the military installations,
Mm-hmm.
Not only one, civilian got killed during the operation in January the 3rd this year. But Chavez killed a lot of people. And then he got released, and then he became a president, right? It was even worse. So you guys, you already know what happened after that. The disaster,
Absolutely insane. So
Yeah.
I want to highlight this one. So Graham says, if not Machado, then who?
Yeah, that's a good question, and that's the most common question. The people that don't understand, what is really going on.
Well, it doesn't look like the U.S. administration is very keen on Machado, even. Like, it looks like they're just trying to work with who's there in government now until a further date when Venezuelans can decide in an election, right?
So if we have elections tomorrow, let's say we have election tomorrow, and the only person that you might kind of like trust, for those elections, in order to defeat the people, that the regime that is still in place there in Venezuela.
Yeah,
I would say, Maria Corina Machado, is the only one that you might vote, But to be honest, I believe, that she's also part of the problem. Why? Because she works with the same people that have been working, with the government for years and years. And she want to keep those people, close to her, So I'm very worried about that, I'm very worried about that. So, because for me, you might promise that we're going to end the Chavismo and the socialism in Venezuela. But on the other hand, you are still working with the same people that you are, that you say that they are the problem, and that we should get rid of. To be honest, if we have to choose, soon, this year, I don't think we're going to have election this year, but in Venezuela. But if you had to choose, for somebody, and the only person is Maria Corina Machado, okay, vote for her. But let me tell you this. What happened if Donald Trump decided to support another person? So far, Donald Trump is not supporting Maria Corina Machado. She doesn't have full support of Trump. Trump doesn't even talk about her too much. When
he hasn't indicated at all that that's the direction he wants to go. And when he was even asked about it, and he said, well, no, there's people who are already in government, they're working right now, and then we'll support whatever the Venezuelans choose later, right?
Also it's very confusing, everything that is happening, from the Trump's administration, because during the Trump's speech in the State of the Union, there was a surprise there, with a Venezuelan who got released thanks to Trump.
Tell me about that. Who was that guy? So we got to see that, and it was a surprise for I think it was his niece that was in the audience, and he came out, and the Democrats all just sat down with mean looks on their faces, like I don't understand the Democrats. Like, the guy got political prisoners released. You should be clapping and joyous. but there they are trying to get Donald Trump, thrown in jail on trumped up charges, for the past several years. So I think they're on board with the Chavistas. Nonetheless, who is this guy? Like, why he used to be a politician, or what's his story?
Yeah, I mean, in Venezuela, unfortunately, you need to choose for the less, worse that you have in all the political parties that you have in Venezuela. That guy was Enrique Marquez. Enrique Marquez. He was one of the he was one of the candidates on during the elections in 2024. He was competing against Machado, and you need to listen to this. Using the Communist Party, the Communist Party.
He was a member of the Communist Party.
I mean, during the elections, yes, he was a member of the Communist Party. So,
wow.
So
we stepped a long way from McCarthyism.
Yeah. So he used that, the reason he was working with the Communist Party, it was because his party that he got stolen. He used to have another party, and his party got stolen by the regime, and nobody had a space for him to support him, so he has to choose that one during that time, right? And he also worked in a election center, like the electoral entity that assemble and manage everything during the elections. He was one of the principals, people that was in charge in that institution a long time ago. So yes, he has a history, but he's not like, I mean, he is not. I think Trump is being just very pragmatic. What happened here is that what I believe is happening is that Trump is choosing, probably because I don't believe he just invite him to meet his niece during the speech. I believe there's something more, there. Let's say that Trump kind of like is supporting this guy, right? Well, I mean, it makes sense. The guy is kind of moderate, compared with Machado, is even more like moderate, The guy has some, alliance inside the dictatorship, inside the government, and also he has his alliance on the opposition, right? So it's kind of like in the middle, it's like a peacemaker.
What is the middle in a radically left state, though? Like, what does that look like?
I don't know anymore. It is so difficult to explain this to people, you need to live it. It is so difficult.
Well, okay, so here's a great way to explain it. It's the Canada versus the United States situation. So you try to explain to Americans what the Canadian political right it looks like to them. If you explain that to them, they're blown away. They're like, they're freaking Democrats. What are you talking about? Like, the political right in Canada is for universal health care. That is not a debate. They're for universal abortion. That's not a debate. They're very much in favor of large government and all that. I mean, there's a lot of rhinos in the Republican Party that are for big government for different reasons. And like, you try to explain to an American what the right looks like in Canada, it's left. It's very far left. Like, Canada is a very, very far left country, and it's only because you see this everywhere in the world where you have just large excess wealth is where a lot of socialism comes from. Let's be honest, because what Margaret Thatcher said, socialism works until you run out of other people's money to loot. So the idea here is that Canada has like the craziest amounts of like geographical luck on the planet. They happen to have tremendous amounts of resources. It's a resource rich colony, for lack of a better term, and it just happens to be bordering, like snuggling with the largest economy on the planet, which any country would just is completely jealous over because they have to ship their items over oceans to get to the United States market. Even Venezuela has to go over the Gulf to get to the US market, where Canada is just right there. And that's the reason for the prosperity in Canada. But Canada is just so far up its own ass, for lack of a better term, that they don't see that. And this is where the socialism comes from. It's just like you've got all this loot to give out that you just expect it. You just expect it. Social programs and free healthcare, which you're gonna wait until you're dead anyway, and all these other things. But so that shifts the country very far to the left. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Where the United States is not like that. The U.S. traditionally, until the modern Democrats came around, because we're talking like only a decade ago, the Democrats were not as crazy as they are today.
Mm-hmm.
But the Republicans were just to the right of the Democrats, which were also very liberty oriented for a very long time. Compared to all of these other socialist countries, you would look at the Democrats' position historically, and they were very much in favor of liberty, the idea of personal freedoms, religious freedom, all these other, getting the state off their back, guns, all of it. And it's only a recent development that the Democrats have gone crazy like that. America is a very, because I look on the linear scale of politics, one side of the scale being totalitarianism, and then the other side of the scale being freedom, anarchy all the way on that side. But, America was put together as a country that was a minarchist government. Is this idea that the government should be the smallest entity possible so that people have the maximum amount of freedom. But you need to have a little bit of government. It's a necessary evil because you need courts and enforcement of contracts and law enforcement in order for markets and society to play out.
Yeah.
So many other countries are completely the opposite. And it's so crazy because like I see it as there are two bastions of freedom right now in the planet. There is the United States of America and there is Argentina. Those are the only two places where people are like absolutely enthusiastic about liberty. Number one, first and foremost, liberty.
El Salvador also.
El Salvador as well?
Oh yeah, Nayib Bukele. You know who
okay,
is
so
that?
I don't know enough about this. Tell me more about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, before jumping there, let me tell you this. I think I get what you're trying to, understand. Yeah, I mean, after Chavez, let's say the Chavismo is the most radical left, and the left that is more inclined to work only with other dictators.
Iran, China, that kind of thing.
Also, the terrorist groups, they support terrorist groups. Even Colombia as well, the guerrilla or the guerrilla. How you say in English? Is it guerrilla? Guerrilla. Yeah. So yeah. And the other left, because we have two left in Venezuela, it's only left.
It's like left and lefter.
And the other,
it's kind of like Canada.
And let's say that Maria Corina Machado, okay, as I read one of the comments, somebody saying that Maria Corina Machado is the leader of the opposition. Yes, she still is the leader of the opposition. Let's see how that goes. In a few days. Apparently, she's gonna travel tomorrow to Venezuela. Apparently, I'm not so sure, okay, about this, but there are some rumors, saying that she's gonna travel to Venezuela tomorrow. So she is more aligned apparently, right now with the states, So, but I'm gonna tell you the way that it used to be before. After the Marcos Perez Jimenez, after 1958, with the new constitution, 1961, that, those parties, I would say they were more aligned to work with the United States. It was like that before. And then with Chavez, everything changed. Chavez became an enemy of Bush and every single president the United States had. To be honest, Clinton, Clinton, Bush, Obama, everyone. So,
Like
um,
similar to what happened in Cuba, no? So like the idea,
exactly, yeah.
the idea being that Cuba was basically kind of a banana republic. It was very friendly to the U.S. Leader there, but the people weren't benefiting a tremendous amount from it. But compared to the alternative of communism, it was pretty damn good for the Cubans at the time.
You need to remember that Cuba was in charge till January of Venezuela. Like Cuba was in power. Actually, they were the ones in power in Venezuela. They've been the ones controlling Venezuela since Hugo Chavez Frias came to power.
That's crazy. How is that even possible?
Well, I don't know. But I'm so happy that President Trump did what he did. And listen, I completely, feel right now a connection with the Iranian people, because I seen pictures and videos of the Venezuelan flag and the Iranian flag, together with people, celebrating in I think it was in New York. I don't remember exactly, but Venezuelans and Iranians, we kind of right now, feel each other, like we are connected by, by the but the help that we're getting from the States. So I think it's amazing everything that is happening, and really sad that some people are trying to to sell through the media that we are sad that Maduro is in jail. No, come on. We are the happiest people in the world right now. Like every time I remember, every time I recall that Maduro is in jail, like I feel happy. I feel.
So you're not my only Venezuelan friend, but I can tell you 100% of everyone that I know from Venezuela,
of course,
have the same opinion about Maduro being taken out. Like it's not even like I've got that other friend who thinks that other way. No, everybody.
It's gonna be very difficult. You might find where you can find those Venezuelans, mostly in Europe, mostly in Spain, for example, in Spain, which is one of the favorite countries of Maria Corina Machado, and that's another reason why I'm very, very worried, because I mean, she say that she thanks Trump and everything, but I believe that she's more aligned with Spain, and Spain is a socialist government.
Spain's in the bad books, man. Like no joke.
I always the guy that got elected as a president, in 2024. Guess where he's living right now?
He lives in Spain. Yeah,
in Spain. Yeah. So
that's crazy.
I don't know why.
Well, and Spain is not in good books when it comes to Donald Trump because of what they just pulled during this Iranian thing. They denied access of the United States military. Certain military bases. There's only two countries that did that. It was Great Britain, and they're not so great anymore. It's Little Britain or England, and Spain. And Trump even said he threatened them with cutting off trade to Spain, and I think they caved after 48 hours. But unbelievable, like the gall, like the gall of these states. And it always turns out to be the same kind of people, socialists, people involved with Davos and those kind of groups, when it comes to Starmer over in England. That guy's a character.
Let me tell you this, and just a little bit off topic, but just to recognize the work that you do, Clyde, and for being brave, to talk about these issues. I know how difficult it is. I appreciate really every single person that is listening right now here in your channel because it is so difficult, to talk with the truth and to pursue the truth,
Mhm.
and to talk about these issues. Not everyone is prepared to listen this kind of stuff. And I know that you and we agreed in so many topics, because I I believe, that you need to be awake in order to, realize, that governments in not only in Canada or Venezuela, everywhere in the world, they look to control what you perceive, they look to control what you are going to believe, through the schools, through universities, and also the media, right? So independent media, I really believe in independent media. I always mention this to you. I don't watch any, like, not even a single news channel here in Canada. Never. I never, in 9 years, almost 10 years living in Canada, I had never paid for cable. I had never had to, watch CBC, or any, or CTV, for anything. And during the time that I needed the most, to watch the news, I found Clyde do something. I found your channel. That's why
I appreciate
during
that,
the
man.
during the yeah, man, during the pandemic, that's when I started to, when I met your channel, no, like when, and I get the news. To be honest, your channel and a couple more here on YouTube, but to be honest, I really appreciate every single people because I know what it takes. I'm also a YouTuber. I also have my my issues. Trying to keep the people listening, and it's so difficult. And we do this with our own resources. Nobody's paying, at least for me, like nobody's paying me to talk about this stuff. Well, I
What,
wish I
you're
had
not
a
getting
sponsor.
paid by the what is it? The Jews or somebody? Every week it's a new one. Every week I get accused of being paid by somebody.
Found me a sponsor. I wish I have a sponsor, a good
Mhm.
one. Somebody good.
Well, every
That
once in a
might
while I do get a sponsor. I do get a sponsor, but you see the ad in the video, and that's exactly what it is. It's a
best
sponsorship.
sponsor that I have is the people that support my channel. Like,
Uh-huh. That's right.
we might be, small right now, but I believe, with the time, we're gonna grow, and but it is very important. It is very important to have the support of the people that is in the other side,
Mhm.
because believe me, it's not easy. And well, you saw me as soon as I get here. I was like tired. Now I'm very motivated to talk
Yeah.
more. Yeah, and also because I have cheers.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh, it's because it's Friday night. Let's have a beer
hey,
together.
Friday night. Yeah, so. Yeah, man. No, no, but yeah, it's true. It's true. So everyone, like share Clyde's videos, please like and subscribe, of course, because this is so important. There's so many things and everything. I believe that Canada somehow is related with Venezuela. I had believed this for a few years now, because I don't understand why Chrystia Freeland and Justin Trudeau, a few years ago, they were very advocated about the Venezuela issue. They were very spoken, and they used to talk a lot about the dictatorship and everything that was coming, from Venezuela, and supporting Venezuelans, and all of that. And then one day, they just stopped talking, and I never listen. I don't know. I never listen anything else, coming from Canada about Venezuela. I wonder why. I don't know if there's some relationships, I don't know. I would like to investigate that, to do my
Mhm.
research and see if I can find something. But you never know.
Yeah, and I don't know why. Well, the leader of the opposition in Canada, his wife's Venezuelan. Why is there not more dialogue about what's going on there in that situation? I have no idea. And that could be, I mean, I would see that as a perfect opportunity to do that, but you see more of a shying away, trying to stay away from it. But I mean, how do I put this? I think that politicians in Canada, they just don't, they won't take the risk. They won't take the risk of going towards more liberty. Like they might inchworm towards it, but they're not gonna go full bore because they're afraid that they'll just get shut down immediately. And they have their, they all have their careers to worry about. They're not taking a risk on this stuff. This is why I've been absolutely just astonished by the situation in Argentina with Javier Milei. He came out, he's a rock star. Like this, he took a populist of people that since the 1940s have been moving towards socialism further and further and further and further. It's been a slow creep of socialism, not the Chavista, like, I'll give you all the money, take it, give me power kind of situation. But it's been this slow creep where the government's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger over a tremendous period of time. You have to understand, in the 1940s and before that, Argentina was seen as like one of the most prosperous nations on the planet. Why? Because they had the maximum amount of liberty. The markets were free and open. They were open for business. That's what it was all about. And then this slow creep of socialism comes in. It gets worse and worse and worse. And then finally, this guy comes in, Javier Milei. He used to be a soccer player, right?
He used to play. Yeah, he used to play soccer as well, and he was a singer as well. Yeah.
Oh, he was a singer as well. Okay, so he's a rock star. Yeah, he literally is a rock
singer.
Star.
Yeah. I think he used to have a group, but he sings. Yeah, he sings. He's a rock star. Yeah.
And so he comes in with this knowledge of free market economy stuff. And
he's like an economist. Yeah, he's an economist.
Right. He studied for decades on economics. He comes in with the Austrian School of Economics, which I'm a huge fan. I've read tremendous amounts of works on this. He comes in with just the energy of a rock star and teaches people about the actual way that economics works. Most people are hypnotized, and it's really easy to fall into this trap of socialism, because socialism is this idea that, if everybody just shared, then everybody would be great. Look at all the wealth that these people have. Why can't they just share the wealth? Well, it doesn't work that way, right? It just doesn't work that way. It's about allocating resources. And when you have a top-down, a central authority, it never gets allocated correctly. The people have to have ownership in this stuff. And this is the stuff that he teaches people. And he's crude and unapologetic about it, doing interviews where you just say that, shit socialists, and they have like these ideas.
Yeah, he says, Argentinians, they are very, the way that they speak, the way that they express, they always swear, they always like every 5 seconds, it's a cultural thing on them. I actually spoke with a few Argentinians a few days ago. These people, they have a YouTube channel. I was friends of them till, I don't know, it was May last year. And then we started talking. We became kind of like enemies. They used to say things about me on their channel. I used to say things about them. But I was always moderate. I usually don't talk with bad words. I don't swear. Usually I don't swear. But recently we got to talk because we have a friend in common, and he was like, listen, guy, you need to stop and you need to talk, because I think we are in the same path right now, not before, but right now, I think we are in the same path. So I think we can get to an agreement. So I got to talk with them, and I remember I have a piece of paper here on my desk with a list. Like I used to have a list of all the insults that they sent to me, from their channel, like they were talking about, they call me whatever you can imagine. They call me, whatever you can imagine. And he started laughing, and he say, well, yeah, it's just that Argentinians, we are, it's normal for us to talk like that. And I was like, it's okay, I don't care. But yeah, Javier Milei, is a character. I believe he's taking the country to the right direction. Hopefully,
Mhm.
every time I have friends from in Argentina, every time that I ask them how's the country doing so far, they always say, "Well, it's getting there." Like, still, it needs a lot of improvement, a lot of work. I mean, you cannot expect to fix a country that got damaged during decades,
Yeah.
in only 2 years. Like, it's so difficult.
But
But
he's
I
doing
believe,
things that they didn't believe that they could get done in the first year,
oh
right?
yeah,
Like
no,
he balanced the
definitely,
budget in the first year. That's crazy. And
yes,
in
yes, and also,
like
well, I mean, he got help from Trump, and he got. I would say he got elected again because Trump. That I mean
okay.
that he won the election. Sorry, the last elections, not to elect him, but the cabinet. Um, it was thanks to Trump. But yeah, sorry, I interrupt you. You were saying
No, no,
something
no, no, no,
about,
you're good. You're good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But
The
I
idea
mentioned,
is that actually
yeah,
gets me excited because if Trump has that much influence in Argentina, then that means that the people of Argentina are going in the right direction. The exact
yeah,
opposite of what Canada has been doing, because Trump having any influence on the Canadian elections makes people crazy upset. Like it's crazy to me that people are so upset that Trump might have any influence on the election, but they have no problem with China. Or,
oh yeah, 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 yeah,
the influence is there. They're just like, yeah, no,
yeah.
just don't even look over here. That's
No,
crazy to me.
this is very important for Canadians. Listen, everything that is happening in our continent, in America, is very important for us in Canada as
Yeah.
well. Um, I mentioned before, Nayib Bukele, and you probably don't recognize him by the name, but do
Mm-mm.
you remember that Trump, he was sending the TDA members to another country? Remember?
TDA members? What is
The
TDA?
Tren de Aragua, the TDA,
Oh,
Tren de
yeah, yeah.
Aragua, the
Yes, yes,
mob,
yes.
the
He was,
Venezuelan mob in the States.
yeah, but he wasn't sending them back to Venezuela. Where was he sending them?
He was sending a few back to Venezuela, but then he was also sending, because Venezuela wasn't, at times, they wasn't receiving the people. So Trump decided to send the people to the biggest and the safer, jail in the world. Well, or at least in America, it's a cut. Oh, there's a cut. This is in El Salvador. Okay, El Salvador is
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
another country. It's very small country. You know, and Nayib Bukele is one of Trump's allies. The guy right now is on the right, apparently right wing. I don't believe he used to be right wing before, but yeah, he changed. Okay, he changed. But the guy has been doing, sorry, an amazing job in El Salvador. You need to check what he's doing over there. Like, El Salvador was one of the most dangerous countries in the world. I don't know if you remember the MS-13.
Yes. Yeah, I do
Well,
recall that.
they are from El Salvador.
So what I do
Those
know is
the
that
gang.
there are a number of people that watch this channel and comment regularly that are Canadians that left Canada for El Salvador and they live there and they love it. And under the leadership, I don't remember his name, but under the leadership of this leader who came in as a law and order type guy and cracked down on all the cartels and all of this stuff, El Salvador's like super peaceful. Like people love it.
Yeah,
That's the gist of what I get from it.
yeah.
I mean that's the extent of what I know.
There are plenty of YouTubers that they used to at the beginning, when everything changed, and when the president of El Salvador say, okay, now we have everything under control, you can come to El Salvador. It's safer now. It's one of the safest countries in the world right now that you can
Mm.
travel right now. So yeah, he started saying to people, on TV. He started making ads and asking people to travel to El Salvador. And now YouTubers are going there. They go there, and they film videos, and they, oh yeah, it is safer now. It is safe to be here, to walk with the camera and everything. It
Didn't
is
Nick
so.
Shirley go and visit one of those high security prisons where they actually put them to work?
Oh yeah, Christy. You mentioned who was Christy? No.
No, Nick Shirley.
Oh, Nick Shirley. I'm not sure if he traveled there, but I remember. I remember. Funny enough, Christy Noem traveling to El Salvador. She went there to visit one of these jails. Somebody on your chat mentioned that they have a triple security jail, something like that. I missed the text, the message, but it was there. Sorry.
Oh, triple security jail.
Triple, yeah. Triple max
So-
prisons there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it was Nick Shirley. He went. So this prison will change history. He went inside.
He went there. Yeah.
Yeah, on the world's most unconventional prison in El Salvador, where they actually have like textile business inside there, and they put everybody to work. They don't have time to conspire and learn how to be better criminals. They just go to work. Apparently it's voluntary.
Prisoners.
Apparently it's voluntary because they have the idea. So it's like you do your sentence, or you can reduce your sentence by half by working through the whole sentence. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's like, well, I want to get out way sooner. So I'll do it by just doing this labor, and it teaches them real skills. So when they do come out, they can rehabilitate, or at least have the option of rehabilitating, and not be, like I said, become better criminals by learning the trade from other people in the prison. That's the last thing you want, right?
Yeah. I mean, when you ask these kind of people, that is in jail, for example, people in El Salvador, these gangs, when you I think I hear different interviews of people asking them, if you had the opportunity to go out again, would you change? Would you be different in society? And some of these people, they always say, like, no, keep me in jail. Like, I will probably do it again. I will go out and probably I will rob again, or I will, kill again. Sometimes this happens. There's people that they just, that's the only thing that they know how to do. They've been doing it for so many years. And I believe that's true. In Venezuela, it's the same, there's a difference though. We don't have. I don't believe the prison system in Venezuela is a system that you might go to jail, get better, and then you will be able to go back to society and live a good life. No, our prisons in Venezuela, it makes you worse. Once you get there, you need to, oh my God, if you don't get stronger there, you get killed. You probably will never get out, or you probably will die there, right? So, and we don't have a system in Venezuela, unfortunately, that might help people like probably they're doing in El Salvador, maybe.
Wow. So I found a website. It's actually world population review, and this is recidivism rates. So recidivism is the idea of reoffending when you come out. So like the opposite of reincorporating into, or being rehabilitated. And you can see the actual rates of people, some of the top ones.
Reconviction, rearrest.
Reconviction within 2 years. Wow, I'm surprised at that. Denmark, because everybody says that the Scandinavian countries are actually the best.
Yeah,
but that doesn't look great. 63% conviction, reconviction after only a 2-year follow-up. Australia has a 2 years, 53% reconviction rate. This is the duration of these things. Quebec, Ontario, Wow, Quebec, after 2 years, reconviction at 55%.
Wow.
And 43% re-imprisonment in Quebec, Canada. Canada as a whole, recidivism is 41%. Oops. Why did I do that? That was weird. Took me somewhere else. That was really weird. Share this tab. Yeah, throwing advertisements at me.
What kind of books are those?
AliExpress, yeah. But yeah, I had no idea that. Yeah, you can get this information.
Do you see Venezuela there? Maybe at the end, Venezuela.
Yeah, let's have a look.
The States.
No,
I think Venezuela is not on the list.
Yeah, no. So the States has a bunch of different numbers in the same statistical year. I have to go through this and figure out what all that data means. But yeah, recidivism is the actual term used on that one.
Yeah.
How do you people reoffending?
How do you see things right now with Canada, with everything that is happening in Iran right now? I would not ask you about Venezuela, but what is happening right now? Sorry, because I haven't keep tracking of what the Prime Minister is saying about this operation by the States in Iran. So what is Canada saying right now about this?
Canada's in a weird position. Like Canada, Prime Minister Carney, he's taken 5 different positions in 5 days. Like he legitimately, I was talking about this earlier, and what was it? Ezra Levant actually spoke about this. So I'll pop this up on the screen. Ezra Levant tweeted out, he said, in the past 72 hours, Carney's taken 5 different positions. First, he supported the attack. Then he called for diplomacy. Then he called for a ceasefire. Then he says the invasion violates international law. And I take
wow.
I take note. I take exception on the term invasion, but whatever. And then number 5, he suggests that they might join the attack despite the points 2 through 4 above.
Really?
Yeah, it's just
that's
really
so
crazy.
Interesting.
So
that is crazy.
I don't know what. I mean, I don't know what the hell kind of game he's trying to play. Whether he's just trying to like make random statements to hedge his bets the best way he possibly can. I think it's really disappointing to see countries not coming in support of the United States. Like, here's the thing. Donald Trump, everyone acts surprised when he does something that he says he's going to do. And then he does it. And then everyone's like, what? I can't believe he did that thing. I guess it's like this idea that you just never expect politicians to follow up with the things that they promise. And so he does it. He said, I'll never let Iran get a nuclear bomb. If they get close, I'm going to bomb the shit out of them, he says. He said that in his campaign.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
And then you have a lot of people that think that this is a neocon move by Donald Trump to form another forever war in the Middle East. I just don't see it that way.
No, I don't see it that way.
It doesn't feel like shock and awe to me. And it feels a lot like it's more of a difficult situation than the Venezuela situation. They were able to go in there with Delta Team and just freaking surgically remove your dictator. You know what I mean? And that's great. That meant that meant a lot. But then this Iranian situation, what I think about it is completely different from what the average Canadian thinks about it. I mean, I listen to CBC and they were talking in the early hours of this, trying to create this air of hope that Khamenei wasn't killed. And then after he was killed, they start talking about 40 days of mourning and that the average, the Iranians were sad about what happened. And it's like, clearly you look
Toronto,
it's crazy.
Toronto was full of people on the streets
celebrating.
Yeah.
Nobody was mourning. Everyone's celebrating. I grew up in Windsor, Ontario, and I know so many people who call themselves Persians over the course of my upbringing. They all refer to themselves as Persians. They're from Iran. They left because of the Ayatollahs. They left because of the theocracy dictatorship, and they're happy about what's going on right now. And it's just crazy. But I think Canada is one of the most propagandized countries on the planet. Like,
Oh yeah.
like North Korea level propaganda. And the difference, I think, is that the Koreans know that they're being propagandized. Canadians don't know it. Like, they just don't see it. They're trapped in this,
That's so interesting.
mirage.
That's so yeah, that is so interesting. I realize the media lies all the time here in Canada, everywhere, right? But here is that the only few times that I kind of watch, the news, I was like, I can't believe people watch this kind of stuff, it is lame and it is so obvious. It is so obvious that that they lie all the time. Yeah, I mean, I saw the people dancing on the street in Toronto. I don't know. I'm not so sure in Vancouver. I remember I watched something close to a restaurant in Vancouver. People celebrating. I think maybe I'm wrong, but I think it was Vancouver. Tell me, there was celebration in Vancouver.
Well, I know that there was celebration in Vancouver because there was protests in Vancouver, or demonstrations for the past, few months, a couple of months. It started really kicking off where Iranians were there, Persians, whatever they want to call themselves, were there with their flags and with photographs of the people who were being massacred by the government there, that were just against what the whole crap that's been going on there for 47 years, right? Like, it's been going on for a very long time. They killed, I don't know what the official numbers are now, but people are saying somewhere in the ballpark of 12,000 protesters. They just killed them. And it's crazy numbers. And then you listen to the Canadian media, and all they say now is numbers of civilian casualties. And like, how do we know that those were civilians? They weren't IRGC. We don't know that. But the Canadian government, the CBC, because that is the Canadian government, they're running cover for the most notorious terroristic regime on the planet. It's unbelievable. And like, I mean, Canada's hit some serious lows in recent years, but like, running cover for the Ayatollahs in Iran? You freaking serious? Give me a damn break on this one. I don't get it. But yeah, there was people in the streets up until recently in support of the average Iranian people. It really shadowed out all this like Palestinian protester people, which, if you see the Palestinian protesters, they're never olive skinned. They're always like
I have
white liberal art students. It's something else.
I'm not an expert in geopolitics, to be honest. I'm not an expert on the oil industry and how everything works. But help me with this, because I have a I mean, I have an idea, conspiracy theory, right? Right now, about everything that is happening, right? Right now, with the states in Venezuela and the states in Iran, right? Both countries have one of the largest reserve of oil. We have a lot of oil in Venezuela. Also, we have minerals and a lot of stuff, that the world needs right now, right?
Yeah.
And I believe the United States, under Trump's administration, under his mandate, he wants to recover everything that the United States lost during I don't know, the last 20 years. I don't know, maybe, right? Maybe, and just maybe, I don't know, you've seen the price of the barrels, oil barrels going up right now. The oil is getting more and more expensive, and this is, I mean, something that you cannot hide, right? It's happening and it will continue, to go up, the price. And of course, I'm worried about, because oil goes up, everything goes up, life get more expensive. But I kind of understand maybe what Trump is doing. And correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you think that Trump is trying to, take control, of the more, powerful countries in the world? Talking about from the point of view of the reserve that they have, the minerals and everything.
Mhm.
Control those, you know, take China out from their countries and from, um, the America as well. But of course, Iran is not in the Americas, right? Uh, but he's trying, to again take China out, take control of the oil, and at the same time with this operation, some people call it a war. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's see how long it lasts. This operation. Uh, let's say that the price of the oil go up till $100 per barrel, right? As it used to be long time ago.
Mhm. It's
I
happened
remember,
before.
yeah, I remember during Chavez, it was the best, for the oil countries, because you were getting a lot of money, for every single barrel that you sell, right? And now the United States is there also in the market. They're selling as well. They had the control right now of Venezuela, and they're probably gonna get also control of Iran, right? And then when you realize how much is the barrel, $100. Do you know how
Mhm.
much money the United States is gonna make out of this? All of this? How rich they're gonna get with this and all the control. And then they're gonna say, I mean, Trump is gonna say, we're getting a lot of money. We're getting a lot of money, and also,
Hey, we're doing
and,
it.
and
It's
also
gonna be
we
great.
have Venezuela and Iran, are under our control. We control everything. So tell me that this is no America first. Like, I don't know. I don't know if you can see it, but probably is
I
this
think
the
it goes
plan?
beyond that. I actually think it goes much beyond that. So I think for 250 years, the United States has been in a um, another kind of warfare, this great game of risk with Great Britain. And I think there's still a lot of powers that are in Britain, and I think what they've done is they've and we're talking about the monarchy, right?
Mhm.
Uh, they've shifted a lot of their effort has gone into pushing for this new globalist agenda through Davos, incorporating China, with you've heard of the Club of Rome that turned into the World Economic Forum, and they worked very hard with China in the 1970s to try to create this whole new world power and get rid of the US hegemony. Now there's always been this conflict with Britain, even though Britain became a friendly country with the United States. That conflict has still always existed since 1776. Like, it's always been there. There are certain presidents in US history that have really pushed against this. Monroe was one of the huge ones, right? And the whole Monroe Doctrine was the idea of making sure that none of the colonies around the United States had any infiltration by the British. It's a hard one with Canada. That's a really tough one with Canada, but it was very much the policy moving forward with when it came to relations with Mexico, Venezuela, El Salvador, Nicaragua, all of the countries in the immediate area of the hemisphere, right? And saying, no, we're not going to allow England's dominance or England to come in, because, and this is where it all kind of ties into what's been happening lately. You see You see a lot of things, a lot of people quoting a particular politician from the Victorian era, which I thought was really strange. And Promethean Action is another channel that's really been pointing this stuff out. Is this ties to a really, really old battle that's been going on for power on the planet. They point out that people have been quoting Lord Palmerston, which I found really, like, it was mind-blowing when I realized Pierre Poilievre actually quoted Lord Palmerston like only a month ago in one of his speeches, talking about relations with the United States. And he gave this quote of Lord Palmerston. Now, Lord Palmerston, you think, well, who is this guy? So he was a politician in Britain during the Victorian era who eventually became prime minister for a period of time. But he was most famous for his works as the Secretary of War at the time. So he was like the Minister of War for Great Britain. And he was the one who invented the idea of a color revolution. Color revolutions being this concept of, instead of kinetic warfare with a country, you go in and you fund dissenting groups to fight and stir up discord within the country that you're trying to oppose. And they did this. The British did this with India. They did it with all of the colonies, including Canada and the United States, which had completely separated. Now, the whole goal of this was to make sure that what happened with the United States never, ever happens again. And I think this is where like the push for the Westminster parliamentary system really came from. It makes it impossible to become an independent nation away from Great Britain. That was the goal. And the monarchy was behind this the entire time. So, like, to think that the monarchy is like, they're quaint and nobody cares about them. Like, no, they've been active in this for a very long time. So you see in recent times, Lloyds of London making a huge move. They're an insurance corporation, right? Well, who are they an insurance corporation for? The King of England. It was established by King George, right? This was the company was put together to give insurance to, pick and choose who gets to be insured and who doesn't. If you work with the British and you're on board with what the British hegemony is and what they want, then you get insured. If you don't work with the British, you won't be insured to go through places like the Straits of Hormuz with your boats. Now, this was a big move that happened right after the U.S. attacked. The British didn't give the U.S. Access to military bases, which is something that they should have based on treaties that they have, but they did not. Or sorry, Lloyds of London. My bad, not Leeds of London. Lloyds of London. Thank you so much, Soccer, over on Rumble. So Lloyds of London pulled their insurance from a number of vessels and said, no, we're not going to allow it. Because what does that do? It creates a situation where China doesn't get the oil that they need, because China, I mean, let's just be honest, China doesn't have a lot of resources. What is their main resource? It's labor. So they have very skilled labor. That's their big thing. They need energy. If they don't get energy, they're freaking hooped, right? What's a great way to get China involved in this conflict? Cut off their energy. So Lloyds of London cuts off the energy going through the Straits of Hormuz. That's why Trump made a big move, and he said, don't worry, we'll offer insurance and it'll be backed by the U.S. Navy. So this is a big move. This is, Britain, like, and we're talking centuries old wars, because a lot of people are looking in decades, right? This is the narrow scope. Not a lot of people are looking in centuries. Centuries is huge. So I think this is a really bold move that's happening right now, and it could shift a lot of the influence around the world on who has influence in what areas. Now, the United States for a very long time has been the security force for the world since the Second World War, the end of the Second World War. Because after the Second World War, Europe was destroyed. Like most of Europe was just in shambles. So the US came in and they said, listen, what we're going to do is we're going to offer you the ability to, one, trade with us freely. So no tariffs, no trade barriers. And then you can get you guys yourselves off your feet or back on your feet. And we'll also protect your borders. And then they created all these, things like NATO and stuff to in the hopes that after a while, these nations would then start to protect their borders. No, they got used to the Americans taking care of everything. Then the United States military industrial complex came in and they just became the policemen of the world. It was like a default position. And it became like a cudgel for all these European nations to beat the Americans, browbeat the Americans down by saying, oh, you want to be the world police and all this other stuff. No, this was an arrangement that you guys brought for us, right? This is an arrangement that you wanted and we obliged. And you didn't live up to your end of the deal, your end of the bargain, that when you become wealthy nations again, that you will no longer have trade restrictions for us to enter your countries. And that you'll actually be able to take care of the security of your nations. Instead, they leaned on the crutch of, well, America will pay for it. The American taxpayer will pay for it. Imagine if Spain tomorrow was told, the taxpayers in Spain were told, you're going to pay 5% of your GDP to protect the southern border of the United States of America. Just imagine that was a proposition that was brought up. They would lose their minds. They'd be pissed off. But that's what the Americans have been doing for 80 years. You know what I mean?
Amazing.
5% of the GDP of the United States goes towards protecting the borders all over Europe and all over these places. And they have an audacity to complain that the Americans are just, you guys are rude and you come asserting yourself all over the place. The amount of piracy and shit that would go on in shipping lanes all over the planet if the United States was not protecting this is just unbelievable. So yes, when Donald Trump comes in and he reasserts the Monroe Doctrine, it is a direct threat on powers in Britain. It's a direct threat on powers from places like Davos. It's a direct threat to influence that's being wielded by China. But what's China going to do? China is really kind of in a shitty situation because they only have one ocean that they can ship from, and it's blocked up by other nations that have islands just off of their coast. It's not like the geographical situation that the United States enjoys. And everybody sees that the natural enemies of America would be China or Russia, which only has access to an ocean that's frozen 6 months of the year at least. And they have access to maybe Crimea now because of the conflict that's happening. It's not really a threat to the United States. Iran was a threat to the region. And in my estimate, oh, don't forget the UN. I'm seeing in the chat. You're right. Don't forget the UN. This is amazing. So here's the thing. Iran was a happy accident for the powers that be, because they were there as a force for instability in the region. And they have been a force for instability in the region for 47 years. And it's come a time where it was like, it's going to happen. And what happened? Well, the U.S., it didn't go in with regime change like Michael Bolton and all these other guys want. He went in with destroy everything that they absolutely have, make them start from zero and give them the opportunity to take over the situation and form their own government, not a dictatorship. I hope it pans out. I don't know if that's how it's going to work, but I'm looking at the world in a very different way than what the propagandists at CBC have been trying to tell me I should be looking at the world. Does that make sense?
That makes sense completely. And
That's a mouthful. Sorry.
no, it's okay. I was just looking because while you were talking that kind of the same propaganda also that I've been looking. Well, I don't know if you call it propaganda, but with everything that is happening right in Iran and Trump, you know, you start seeing different personalities, you know, like Nick Fuentes. Also, oh my God, this guy from
I think Nick
Alex.
Fuentes is a Democrat.
I think he's a demo. I put it on my ex. I you know, I made a post about. I mean, I just say that. I share a video of him and I say he's a Democrat. I mean, he's a Democrat. He's
Yeah.
saying it now. Hey, well, let's both Democrat. For
Yeah.
me, I think he's being infiltrated. You know, on the MAGA movement. You know, at the beginning, right? And then, you know, he found his way, you know, who knows, to kind of like to, you know, sell the idea that oh, I'm MAGA, but I'm not, you know, I'm not happy with Trump. He promised this and that, you know. But at the same time, it's like Tucker Carlson right now as well. But now there is one person that kind of like surprised me. I don't know. Maybe I'm not too informed about him. But Alex, you know Alex?
Alex Stein?
No, Jones.
No. Oh, Alex Jones
Yeah.
is what? What? I haven't paid attention to what he's doing.
Oh yeah, I think he's being also saying something similar, like kind of like supporting a little bit of on you know Nick Fuentes, kind of like saying that Trump is losing his um, you know his way, like on everything that he's doing right now. Kind of, I think he's on the side. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't have all the data. I don't have all the information, but I've seen a few people also. What's the name of this blondie girl? My God, was not the ex congresswoman Marjorie Taylor. No, not her. There's another journalist who also you know turned his back on Trump recently.
Oh, I don't know.
And let me find the name.
Was it Tommy? What's
You
her
know,
name?
you know what? I send you a link on the chat. I don't know if you can play that. It has music that you might, you know, decrease the volume a little bit to kind of like, you know, skip
Oh,
the.
yeah, right.
Yeah, but it kind of resume every single person that is on this, you know, on the list of people that is
Oh, it's all
calling.
AI though.
I know. Yeah, it is AI. But the people that I'm talking, they appear on the video. It's a good video though.
Oh, I got this one up. Let me go this one. Yeah. Okay. So you got. What's her name? Megyn Kelly.
Megyn Kelly. That's the one that I'm.
Megyn
talking
Kelly
about.
was the never Trumper from the beginning, though. Like she's always been a never Trumper.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's supposed to be Nick Fuentes there.
At some point,
that's Dan Balzerian. Oh, a lot of these people I haven't heard about for a long time.
Yeah.
Nick Fuentes, yeah, it's so funny. Like he claims to be this all American boy, but there's police footage that came out.
See, Alex Young is there. Alex Young is in
Alex
the video.
Jones is there.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was police footage that came out where somebody was harassing him at his house and he had to call the police. And then they did an interview. The cop did an interview with the harasser and then one with him. And so he's very like, I'm American, white American. That's like his persona, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's like, women shouldn't vote, you know.
Yeah.
And women are only made to raise kids, and that's all. Like some things like that.
So,
I mean,
but in this footage, it came out because it was released by the police department, And they interviewed the lady, and the lady's like, oh, he's a racist, he's all these other things, and says all this stuff. And that's why she's harassing him at his home. And somehow he got doxxed. They go and they interview him, and he's like, so the woman says you're like a giant racist and all this stuff. And what's his response? He's like, my last name's Fuentes. Can't you see? Like, I'm Mexican. Like, wait, what happened to the whole I'm an American thing? I'm a white American, white Americans, all of this stuff. The second he had any heat on him, he's just like, I'm Mexican.
I have a video of it's made out of it's made with the AI. It's so funny. It's made out of a tweet, a post that he put on X. I'm voting Democrat in 2026 because white people can play both sides too. Say the GOP broke every single promise. Epstein file cover up, regime change war in Iran, and no mass deportations. No mass deportation, really? Well, I've been seeing.
This is why I think he's been sowing the discord with the MAGA side of things, and a lot of people, rightfully so, say that that's what his objective was in the first place. Have a look at this. This is a clip from Sean Farish.
I watched that guy today. Yeah, I put it on my video, my last video.
Yeah, he's awesome. I gotta go have a wee. I'll be right back. Well, have a listen to this.
To everybody who likes to say stop infighting with people like Nick Fuentes, shut up. Okay, be quiet. Because quiet piggy. Because I told you years ago, but really over the last year, I've been focused on this because the psyop was so easy to see that this guy is a Democrat. He is a leftist. And now he says he's voting Democrat this year. I told you that he was not on our team. I told you that we did not need to pander to him. He is not significant enough to make an actual difference in the real world when it comes to what I like to call deli counter politics. Go in the supermarket and try this. Ask somebody at the deli counter, what are your thoughts on Nick Fuentes? They're going to reply with, who is that? Because he does not matter in the real world. The internet is not real life. That doesn't mean that there aren't real people on the internet. But what happens on X, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, does not mean those same things happen in the real world. Just ask Valentina Gomez, who gets hundreds of thousands of impressions on her posts on X and she could not crack 10,000 votes in her primary in Texas and lost by almost 50 points. If the internet was real life and had that much of an implication in the real world, she would have won by 50 points. She got smoked. I told
like seriously, if Brandon Herrera only needed internet points, he would have just only done his YouTube channel for his run against Tony Gonzalez. No, he didn't do that. He went and he spoke to people in the constituents of his congressional riding. Like, that's what he did. He went, he campaigned.
Take a look to the post that I sent you in the chat, the second one, the last one. It's also made with the AI, but it looks so cool. It's Nick Fuentes, as he should, honestly, he should look like that instead of the way that. Play the audio. Play the audio.
Play the audio. Here we go.
You can call me a Democrat. You can call me whatever you want. I'm playing both sides. Okay, we play both sides like Chanel. We're playing both sides. Democrat, Republican. I am going with whatever hates my enemies more. And right now, Republicans are my enemies. I want to destroy them. You can call me.
Dude, that's not new. So that's not new at all. So I don't know if you know the history. I don't know if you know a bit of the history. Do you know who Milo Yiannopoulos is?
Oh, yeah.
So Milo Yiannopoulos, famous gay provocateur dude, he would do a lot of these shows. He'd go all over the place and he would say a lot of crazy things. He was very pro-Trump in the first Trump campaign. Mm-hmm. After the first campaign, I don't know what occurred, but he felt slighted. He felt slighted by Trump, and he vowed that he would take Trump out. And so when he vowed that he would take Trump out, he disappeared for a while. And who does he come back with and do an appearance on Tim Pool's podcast? Kanye West and Nick Fuentes. They went on a tour together.
Oh wow.
Nick Fuentes has been on the side of get rid of Trump for ages, and he just has a different campaign strategy about doing it. So
Yeah, the guy.
I don't believe it for a second that he's ever supported Trump.
Yeah, I remember he wanted to debate Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, I think, never accepted a debate with him. But I don't know why. To be honest, I don't know what was the reason. Probably he never took it serious. I don't know. But
Yeah,
the
I
guy,
mean, Charlie Kirk was a serious person. He didn't buy into this BS, right?
yeah, I just thought that the dude, AI is getting so good.
It really
So
is.
good. It is amazing. The kind of thing people does with that these days. I need to get into that as soon as possible. It is amazing everything like the kind of thing that you can do with that.
Was dangerous because then you can actually like trick people with things that aren't true, and that's where it's gonna go next.
Well, I mean, yeah, I believe that it is that you should, disclose, that well, at least platforms should ask people to disclose when everything is AI. If you are just posting something straight, the video there, to kind of trick people, so yeah, you should disclose that it is AI because it's so realistic these days, so realistic. That you almost sometimes you can know, I've seen on X, I don't know if it happens to you, but sometimes it pops on my X timeline, little clips of Marvel movies, and I think it is a part of a clip from a movie, but it's not. It's something made with AI, and it looks so good that Hollywood is it is in troubles. Hollywood is in troubles right now.
Fan fiction, yeah. I mean, it's gonna turn into something else.
Yeah,
very soon. Very soon.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, what do you think is gonna happen on the elections, man? Do you think the Republican Party is gonna lose the game?
No.
They're gonna.
No, I think the Republicans are gonna win. I think
Do you think really?
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna win with
Yeah.
everything that's happening?
Yes, I think they're gonna win.
Well,
But I don't think that they're showing their cards just yet, and we'll see. We'll see with this Iran thing, because Iran's going to be one of the difficult ones, because what if they're able to have a successful mission? Boom, it's done. Kind of like Venezuela, dude. Day one in Venezuela, everyone's like, "Oh, it's World War III," and then 24 hours went by, and they're like, "Oh, it wasn't World War III. Here we are." Right? Yeah. So Iran's a much bigger problem, let's just be honest, than the Maduro regime. Maduro, in world standards, is kind of small potatoes, man.
What happened with the story? I haven't confirmed that story, the story of the school. There was a bomb that fell off on the over the school, girls' school, and 50 girls died or something like that.
Where was this?
In Iran, like the left is claiming that Trump or Israel, they drop a bomb on Iran, and this bomb, I don't know how, but it ended up over the school in Iran, and it killed apparently people, like kids. But I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if
that's the most difficult thing is, in the fog of war, everything is just propaganda. It's so difficult to know what's true and what isn't. Like, for example, the Pentagon comes out and they say that
girls' school,
Iran's capability of attacking anyone is reduced by 90%. Is that true? I don't know. You're just gonna take their word for it? The Iranians are attacking civilian locations. Like, they are we have the footage of it. They hit a hotel in Dubai with a drone. Like these drones know what they're doing, and they're attacking these. They are attacking military installations, but they attacked how many countries? How many different countries have they attacked now? It's crazy. They've pissed off everybody, every single person. So it's like, I really don't know how this is going to pan out. But I think, November is it is a decent amount of time away. A lot can happen between now and November. And especially if they're successful in passing the Save America Act, Democrats are going to have a damn time trying to getting a win out of that one. Their biggest demographic is illegal immigrants voting in elections. That's their biggest.
Do you notice that with that act, what's the name again?
Save America Act.
Save America Act. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you notice the fifth goal about the surgeries for minors? The one that transition from one gender to another one. I don't know if you noticed, you saw that they put that was allowed with the permission of their parents.
Is that in there?
It was. I mean, when they posted at first, the fifth. Let me just get this straight, because I don't remember exactly what it says. And I'm gonna tell you what it used to say before. Everyone was complaining that day about that. People noticed that. Oh, hey, you guys remove. I got it here.
Oh, you have it.
Yeah, so let me send you the link. So the one that I'm sending you is the one that they post first, and then they modify the fifth line in there. It says, no transgender mutilation surgery for children without the express written approval of the parents. If you go down,
there it is. Right there,
if you go down,
5.
there is the
Yeah, no transgender mutilation surgery for children without the express written approval of the parents. What's your thoughts on that?
And then they update it. Then they just put no transgender mutilation surgery for children. They removed the without. So the part that says without the express written approval of the parents, they removed that after they saw the people complaining. So that was kind of worry, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Because some people would actually, some parents would actually give that.
Oh yeah, you know how it is. I have the one updated. I just sent it to you on the chat. Yeah, and it's coming directly from the Rapid Response 47 account.
So Save America Act, all voters must show voter ID. All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. No mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. No men and women's sports. And no transgender mutilation for surgery for children. So, two things. I'm well with that one, but is that going to make it difficult for them to get Democrat support on this? I don't know. Democrats are freaking lunatics. I don't know.
These people are crazy.
They're freaking lunatics. Yeah, they are crazy, as Trump said during his
during
speech.
the State of the Union. Yeah. He said the truth. It's true. I guess he was just getting nuts with them. How do you not stand? For Irina. That was her name. The name of the girl that died on the subway, right? Irina, I think that was the name.
Oh, the girl on the bus.
Yeah, no, it was. Oh, it was a bus. It
That
wasn't
was a
the
bus,
subway.
yeah.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
a bus.
Yeah, it was a bus.
Oh man, crazy man, crazy stuff. Yeah, they didn't stand for for her. That was crazy. I was
The-
like, these people's
the-
evil.
So the one clip that's really going to get shown the most during the midterm elections in November is going to be that clip of Donald Trump saying, everybody stand up if you support American citizens over illegal immigrant criminals. And they all stayed seated.
And look at the comment. It was so she was an Ukrainian immigrant.
Yeah, she was
Ukrainian.
a Ukrainian immigrant.
Okay, I remember seeing almost everybody on the Democrat side with the pin, with the Ukrainian flag pin
Mhm.
next to the American flag.
Until that happened, and then they just abandoned it.
Crazy, brother, crazy. See,
Unreal.
I really believe we have also a battle in the spiritual world. I believe that. I believe there is a war between goodness and evil. And I also I believe this because I'm a Christian, and I think that if you're a Christian or you believe in God at least, you need to pray, man. You need to pray for Canada. You need to pray for the States. You need to pray for Venezuela. You need to pray for Iran. And you need to pray for President Trump. I honestly, it's not because it's just that you are a Trumpist. Like you just are a huge fan of Trump. You don't see the bad things that he's doing. No, it's not that. I'm looking to the things that not any other president, at least to my knowledge, has done so far. In many years. So I really believe that you need to pray because this is also a spiritual battle. And yeah, one of the things that in Venezuela the government does, and they did from the beginning, from day zero, when they started the government since Chavez, they demolish all the our founders, like our George Washington, in Venezuela.
Mhm.
And they start raising statues of fake idols or indigenous people that usually in some religions they glorify in Venezuela. Everything that is away from God, from the image of God,
Mhm.
they pray to that. They glorify that. Call it call it oh my God, when you are a witch, you practice what?
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft. Exactly. So call it witchcraft, all that kind of stuff. They are involved on witchcraft in Venezuela. And we have that even in our bills. They changed the Venezuelan currency, the bills, so many times. And at the end, they replace, for example, a George Washington, and they put a like the highest rank in the Indian community. I don't know how you call it in English. We say cacique. I don't know what would be the name.
Like a chief?
Like a chief. Yeah. Okay, let's say that. Or maybe they put a fake, animal with two heads, something like that. I don't know. Creations that witchcraft people, people that practice witchcraft believe.
Paganism.
So,
that's
paganism. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That is the word I was looking for. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So that exists, everywhere in Venezuela. I mean, it's something that goes against the Catholic Church, the Christian Church, in every every single value that we used to have in Venezuela. We are mostly Catholic in Venezuela, and I grew up Catholic, and then I switched to the Christian church, the gospel Christian church
Mhm.
type of church, and but yeah, like it is true, man. Like the spiritual battle exists, and you need to be part of that. How? Well, praying to God. Just pray to God.
I think you need to pray for the people that are Trump deranged. I think those people are
Also,
possessed. And
yeah,
like there was no better time to look at it than when Charlie was murdered, to just see the I don't even know how to express like the demonic sort of possession that people had, and posting their glee at the death of a fellow countryman, citizen, person.
nice, Nickelodeon.
Is just unbelievable. Yeah. Pray for those people.
Yeah.
Pray for those people because they need salvation. Like that's really where.
No, I guess I hear you. It's like when you try to explain somebody like has a TDS or someone that
Mhm.
that cannot see what you are seeing. You try to explain with proof. You kind of have look. I have the paper news right here. I have the paper news. Look, Marco Rubio. Do you know the guy? No, he doesn't exist. How can you not see it?
Mhm.
It's right there in front of your eyes. I can't believe you cannot see it. I believe this in the spiritual world, man. There is something that block, people to understand what is happening, what is really happening, because one thing is to not agree with you, in some stuff, some things. And another thing is just to deny everything, everything. Um, I believe these people are not real. Like there's something wrong with them, and it's maybe because of that, And maybe
Mhm.
here in Canada it's different, even also in the States. Maybe you can take it by the the rituals that people like Epstein and all those guys involved with that used to do. Really, really, really bad stuff. Um, who knows? I don't know. Illuminati. I don't know, man. Call it whatever. Call
Yeah.
it whatever you want to call it. I don't know, but evil is real, as somebody say in the chat. Yeah.
It's yeah, something's going on. There's something going on. And yeah, after Charlie was murdered, I even spoke with my wife about it. Just I've not been a very religious person in my life, but when that moment happened,
Mm-hmm.
I could see it. Like it revealed itself. It was something else. It
Yeah.
was extra worldly. And yeah, I think people need to open their eyes to it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Rudy, we've been going for more than 2 hours. So why don't we move things over to the Discord? Because I love chatting with everybody else. And a number of people have been given the link in the chat. If you haven't yet, and you're curious about coming over and chatting with more people and continuing this conversation on, hit up the link. One of the moderators will pop this in there, both in the Discord, both in the YouTube chat and in the Rumble chat. I saw Tilscab posted that one in there a little while ago.
Peter from
So,
Edmonton.
yeah, Peter from Edmonton, moderator on YouTube. Tilscab was over on Rumble posting that link in there so that people, there you go, so people can get on over there.
Somebody was asking me about Cuba. Cuba hopefully is next. I believe Cuba is gonna also set free, man.
Yeah, Canada, get in line. There are some higher priorities at the point.
Everybody's on the line waiting their turn.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
That's the best note to leave it on. All right, Rudy, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Everybody, you got to go over and check out Rudy Cast. It's on YouTube. You also have an English channel, right?
No, right now it's just a
No?
Spanish channel. I'm gonna set up a new one, okay? A new channel. But yeah, that you can track me there on RudyCast.
AI is
And,
great because YouTube has a way of translating. It'll actually dub the videos over. Do you have that feature yet?
Yeah. I don't know how to use it, to be honest. Sometimes it's all over the place.
It's not about you using it. It's about the user using it. So you can watch Rudy's
yeah.
videos and then click on the little cog wheel and it'll actually dub it to English. It'll dub it into English so you can listen to Rudy doing his videos.
Do not listen.
In your own language.
Do not listen my videos on indie. Just English for please. Not indie. Indie now. Like I don't like it.
We got
it. I don't want to listen.
Don't want it. No, thank you.
Don't want it. No.
Light comes in here with the last minute $2 super chat. Says great show. Thank you. Megan likes the clicks. Awesome. Really appreciate that. Yeah, thank you guys all for your support. And we'll see you over in the Discord. If not, we'll see you in the next video. Good night, everybody.
Good to see you guys.